Hello everybody, welcome to this instruction video. In this video I'd like to show you the very last part of Ubuntu. Ubuntu is a Scheepjes crochet along 2018 designed by Deirdre Uys from Look at What I Made. Part 12 we're going to be finishing our border. We're going to be making many rounds and rounds of stitches, but nonetheless I'll still take you through all of these rounds step by step. I want to thank you for watching and joining me on this journey. Border round 22, we're almost there, last part. I have contrast color 6 on my hook with a slip knot, and we're going to start in any chain corner space that you've marked with a stitch mark. You'll have 6 of these marked corners. I'm going to start in there with a standing double crochet, followed by a chain 2 and another double crochet in the same corner space. This is your new corner. You can remove the stitch marker. You don't have to put it back if you don't want to, but I'm going to, because that chain 2 space is your new corner. So I'm just going to hook the stitch marker in that chain 2 space. If I can just, there we go, in the chain 2 space. But you can also just leave this out if that's better for you. We're going to start this straight edge. I'm going to skip the first stitch, that's that one. I'm going to skip that. And then go to the second stitch and work a double. And then that's the first of 15. So that's 1, 2, going to work 15 doubles. 3, 4, and 15. That's 15 double crochets since the corner, and we skipped that first stitch, so 15 double crochets. Your next stitch should be the chain 1 space here, that chain 1 from the previous round. We are however not going to be working in that chain 1 space, but we're going to go to the triangle we have here. There's a chain 1 space there right at the top of the triangle. I'm going to work a half treble in that space, and then work the treble, half treble. I'm going to skip the chain 1 space here to the back, just skipping that stitch, and then go to the next stitch, which is a double, and we work a double on that again. And we're going to work 11 doubles. That will bring us to the next chain space here. So I've just worked 3, need a few more. This is 4, 5, and 11. 11 double crochets. This is a repeat unit, starting from the half treble there, skipping the stitch to the back, and then working these 11 doubles. This repeat unit you're going to do 10 times in total. Now we've just done one, so we need to do 9 more. I'll just get you started on the next one, and then I'll do a jump in the video. So here's your next triangle. In that chain space, work the half treble, and skip the chain space there to the back, and skip that stitch, and then in the next work a double. That's 1, and then this is 2, and continue again until you have 11. So repeat this 9 more times, and then I'll just see you towards the end of this row for the corner. I've just done the repeat 10 times. When you've done that, this is the point where you are. You've got 1 triangle left and a number of stitches till you get to the next marked corner. In the chain space, here from the triangle, work a half treble. Then to the back, going to skip the chain 1 space, going to skip that space again there, skip that, and go to the next stitch and work a double. And that's the first of 15. And that will again bring you to the corner space. We're going to work 15 doubles and 15. So 15 doubles, that brings you to the marked corner. In the corner, work a double, chain 2, and a double. in the same space. At this point you can remove the stitch marker. You can, if you want to, put it back. I am going to in the chain 2 space because that's my new corner. Now this corner is exactly the same as the corner we started with. That means we're going to repeat everything we just done. Skip the first stitch, work 15 doubles, then catch all of these triangles with a half treble. When you're all the way around, close on your first stitch, that's that standing double with a slip stitch. Then you can also cut your yarn because next round is a new color. Round 23 of the border, I have contrast color 5 on my hook with a slip knot, and we're going to start in any corner space. Doesn't matter which corner, and we're going to start and work a standing half treble in the corner. So the corner is going to be a half treble, chain 1 and a half treble. Chain 1 and a half treble. I'm going to move the stitch marker to the new corner position. You don't have to if you don't want to. So that's my new corner. A half treble, chain 1 and a half treble. Then in this round we're going to work a half treble on every stitch. So it's a very relaxing round. Especially be sure to get this first one. That's that one. And then that's the first of 153 half trebles on each edge. So you're going to do 153 times 6, so that's quite a lot of half trebles. Then when you get to a corner, you work a half treble, chain 1 and a half treble in the corner, like this one, half treble, chain 1, half treble. And then you work again 153 half trebles on your next edge. Go all the way around, and after you've worked the last half treble in there, close on the standing stitch here, close on that stitch with a slip stitch. Then you can also cut your yarn because the next round is a new color. Round 24 of the border, I have contrast color 1 on my hook with a slip knot, and we're going to start in any chain corner space. This round we're going to work the same corner as the previous round, so it's half treble, chain 1, half treble, and then along the straight edge you're going to work a back post half treble on every stitch. You're going to do that all the way around. So in the first corner, you can start in an arbitrary corner. You start with a half treble, because it's the first one, it's of course a standing half treble, so half treble, chain 1, that chain 1 is my new corner, so I'm just going to move my stitch marker up. You don't have to, if you don't want to. I've just been doing this from the start, so I'm just going to continue doing that to the end, and then work another half treble in the same space. So that's my new corner, half treble, chain 1, half treble. Then on every stitch we work a back post half treble. So yarn over, and from the back, and especially that first one can be just a little bit tricky. There we go, that's the first one. And then then the second one is usually much easier. See those first two. Then on every stitch work a back post half treble. You might find it easier to, if you just pop your work forward, to work it from the back. It might just be easier to work all those back post stitches. If you work them with the back of your work just slightly towards you, then it becomes a front post stitch, and they are easier to make than back post stitches. Oh yeah, I think my cats are arguing. So you work a back post half treble on every stitch. I've just worked a few of them, and then you're going to work, I believe, 155 per edge, and then all the corners, so it's a lot of stitches. Go all the way around. So back post half treble on every stitch in the corner, a half treble, chain 1, half treble. And then when you come back, close on this first stitch, and that's sometimes hard to get into. So you really do make sure you get this half treble here correct. That's the top of the stitch. So close in there with a slip stitch. And then you can also cut your yarn, because next round is a different color. Round 25 of the border, last round. I'm going to be very short about this round because it's exactly the same as the previous round. For round 25 you use your main color, and you're going to do exactly the same as you did in the previous round stitch wise. In the corner comes a half treble, chain 1, half treble, and then work a back post half treble on every stitch all the way around. When you get to your first stitch, close on that stitch, cut your yarn and work away your yarn tails, and then you're almost finished. To finish the blanket, in your loom kit, if you have the medium and the large kit, you'll find your label as well as the button. These two we need to finish our blanket. If you have the small kit, you won't have the loom kit, but I think you do have the label and the button. So these two we need to finish our blanket. The loom kit, will be using this for the bonus pattern. Okay, start with the button that's in your kit. On the button it says be someone's rainbow, and I really hope that you can also be someone's rainbow. Now this button, you're going to attach this to the center of the blanket. So you see here are the 6 diamonds, that's where they come together. I'm going to attach this button over there. You can really see it's a big blanket. So in the middle, attach the button. That can also help you just to maybe work away some unevenness that you might have there in the center. So attach the button and use your main color to do this. The last part of the blanket is the label. There's a lovely label that came with your kit. This label attached to your blanket on your Banksia border. So that's this one where we did in the main color. So attach your label there. Again, use the main color to catch it on all 4 corners and attach your label. And when you've attached your label, you're completely finished and you've made a beautiful blanket. I want to thank you for joining me on this journey, and I hope to see you soon for a new one.